to inspire. With our words, we'll set your dreams on fire. Adonis' finest word.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen, Andre Goolsby back at you once again here at BMW of South Atlanta for another podcast episode of Adonis Finest. Adonis Finest consists of, again, some of the most extraordinary people that I know. And right now I've got the corporate buyer for BMW of South Atlanta here. I've got Zach McLeod. Zach, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here.
So like I said, corporate buyer. I've also got into the recon business here since I came aboard. They actually asked me to help out with that. I'll do what I can around here. But most off, I buy for the entire group, not just for this store. We have a Chevrolet store in Columbus. We have a Kia store and a Honda store in McDonald. We got stores all over the place. So I try and keep the cars fresh, keep nice cars, buy the best available cars we can at the auctions, other dealerships, wherever we can acquire inventory, and bring in the best possible, cleanest cars we can to provide the service for our customers. You know, get them going in the right direction, get the cars people want. You know, that's what we want.
That's awesome, and that's how you and I met.
Yeah.
Is you've done this for quite some time. How long have you been?
So it's been about 5 years now. I've been doing this. I've been in the car business for well over a decade, ever since I graduated high school. I worked at a car auction for about 10 years. Got to know cars inside and out. Started buying them, and it led me to get a good job at this BMW of South Atlanta right here at this store. So it's a good opportunity. I'm excited to see what the future holds, man.
So Zach, have you always loved cars? I mean, even while you were in high school, because you are the quintessential car guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you personally. So.
I have. I've always taken an interest in vehicles. Obviously, luxury vehicles at that too. It always helps out. The cooler the car, the better, in my opinion. But no, I'm pretty frugal. I like all type of cars, man. It doesn't matter what it is. I like cars, man. I always have.
When did that start? I mean, did that come with like the little Hot Wheels car?
Yeah, it probably started. I was just about to say that. You took it right out of my mouth, man. Yeah, probably. You know, I used to play around with a lot of stuff. You know, I like the action figures, cars. I like playing when I was a kid. So that's probably right. It's probably right where it started. Yeah, I took an auto tech class in high school. They offered that at my high school. You got to change tires on cars and stuff like that, so I found that kind of interesting. My dad was in the car business as well. He was a sales manager. He did every position in the car business for 20-30 years, so kind of fell into it kind of like my father did. So yeah, that's my brother does it as well, so it's kind of a family thing. So we just like cars. That's what we fell into, man.
So Zach, this process and indigenous to, and it's not indigenous to BMW of South Atlanta, this is the car buying process. So you buy cars, say through auction, through a variety of different places,
wherever we can acquire them, you know.
And tell me about the recon process, and that's one thing I'm really impressed with about when you buy a car, it goes through a process. Tell me about that process.
So cars are usually at an auction for a reason. You know, someone else didn't want to do the work to it, or just something. Necessarily a dealership didn't want a car, a person didn't want a car, it gets repoed, you know, a lot of banks and stuff involved. So we'll buy them from the auction for a decent price. You know, prices are up right now, inflation and everything, you know that. And then we'll bring them in here, and we have the top mechanics back there. We have master mechanic techs, BMW techs. They specialize in BMWs, our core product. We'll get the car absolutely perfect, retail ready, spit shine it, brand new tires, rotors, brakes, all that stuff, engine flush, everything good, ready for it to be perfectly able to drive for the customer. So that's what we do, and it's like I said, I've just now gotten into it, and you don't realize how much goes into getting a car absolutely perfectly retail ready. You know, you got to spend a lot of money on it to get it retail ready for the customer, but that's what we provide here at BMW South Atlanta.
Tell me some of those things, especially about the certification process.
Yeah. So we try and certify everything we can here, and that comes with a guaranteed warranty. If you buy it certified, I believe it's I'd have to re-up on my sheet. I should know this, but I think it includes like 5 years, an extra 60,000 miles or something like that. Anything wrong with the car, you bring it in, we'll fix it for free, and then get you out of here as quick as possible on your way.
So even the non-BMW products that you purchase,
yes, sir,
they still have to go through.
Oh, absolutely. They go through a very tenuous, procedure as well. Like I said, putting new tires on them, making sure the rotors, calipers, all that stuff, tires match, all that stuff. Make sure it's safe for sure, and then we get it out there, we clean it up. We'll make sure everything is mechanically ready, sound, everything's functioning. If it has a sunroof, AC's working, all that stuff, all the good stuff, just getting it ready, clean for the customer so they can come in here and buy a car that hopefully they love and treats them right for a really long time. That's really what we want to do. That's what we try and provide here. So, and if anything goes wrong, bring it back in. We'll try and make it right. That's all we can do. Do business the right way. A lot of car business and dealerships, they get the cars in, get them out. They don't want to do things the right way. We want to do things the right way here. We want to make the customer happy. And when you're buying a car, that's supposed to be an exciting, fun thing to do. That's how it used to be. You buy a car, it's supposed to work out good for you, treat you for a long time, get you from A to B safe. That's what we want to do here.
And then you tell all your friends and family members, go back to BMW.
Come here.
South Atlanta.
We'll get you what you want. We'll get you hooked up with what you want. Or what you need. Maybe not what you want, but what you need. Things are expensive these days,
Zach, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
Always a pleasure with you, Andre.
Working with you.
Yes,
You
sir.
are a consummate professional in what you do. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. We have the corporate buyer for BMW of South Atlanta and a few other stores. He's a professional at what he does, and I'm honored to have you here, Zach. So,
Thank you for having me, Mr. Andre.
all right. We'll see you next time. Ladies and gentlemen, still here at BMW of South Atlanta. And I have Chris Cochran here, sales manager, desk manager, and you just recently started here, right?
Yes, sir. I've been here about 6 months.
6 months. How long have you been in the car business, Chris?
Whew, my whole life.
Wow.
Officially, I've been in the car business about 21 years.
Wow.
But
Start.
So it started when I was about 15 years old. Getting ready for that first car, and I started purchasing cars from the auction, repairing them and reselling them.
At 15.
At about 15, yes.
How did you get into that?
Just got into cars in the high school automotive program. We had an automotive program shop class where you would repair cars.
Right.
I started taking that as a freshman. Ended up taking it 9 times in high school. So
Because you loved it?
every semester, and then one double semester. I had it twice in one semester.
Is that because you loved it so much?
Yeah, I just loved it, and we had a upcoming competition, so he asked me to double up and come twice in one semester. So I was in his class twice a day.
So not only do you know about the technical aspect of cars.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was a technician for 10 years before moving to the sales side.
That helps.
So like I say, I started repairing and selling, and then was a technician, and then transferred over to the sales side.
So you knew at an early age that you would be doing this.
Yes, I always thought I would be doing something in the automotive industry.
Okay. So how do you like being a sales manager here?
It's really, really good. A lot of interaction with the staff, with the customers. There's nothing like seeing the smile on someone's face when they get that car of their dreams.
Yes.
You get them approved, and they drive off in it.
It's a great feeling.
It is a great feeling.
And you have a huge responsibility here, not just with the sales force, but with the clients and with the service department that has to. I love the culture that was created here. I love it, and you just fit right in. I was coming here, and then I see you, and I got a chance to interact, and it's you're a great fit for this particular dealership, and I appreciate you being here, and I know Robert and the rest of everyone else, the salespeople, appreciate you being here. What do you love most about the product of BMW?
I would have to say the styling aspects. As we move towards a more electric vehicle, that is my absolute favorite thing about BMW is you can have a 760 sitting beside an i7, and they're basically identical. You pull up in an i7, and no one says, "Oh, it's an electric car." They're like, "Oh, is that an electric car?" The same statement said two very different ways.
With different emphasis.
Yes,
Yeah.
and different meanings behind them as well. But you can pull up in an i7, and the only reason they know it's electric is because they don't hear you coming. But the car looks exactly the same. It functions exactly the same. All the technology is exactly the same. It's just electric. Whereas other manufacturers have made cars that look completely different. They look like a typical electric car.
Right. So, what's your favorite car in the line?
Like I said, i7. That's one of my favorites. I spent a good bit of time in a i7 60, and 523 horsepower. My daughter's in the back seat. She says she can't hear me talk because it's so far away. Just really, really large car, very luxurious. But with 500, and I believe it's 23 horsepower. You still can get down the road pretty quickly if you would like.
Yeah. I was talking with Robert about my first experience with the BMW. I used to drive a 528, and I started off, and to this day, my hand is still on that gear, and I drive an automatic. It's something about a BMW, and it is the ultimate driving machine. It is. It's just an amazing vehicle. Now, how do you feel about the SUVs?
SUVs are really nice. My wife tends to gravitate more towards the SUVs,
Sure.
and when her current lease is up, we'll be looking at an X5 or X6 for her.
That's great. Yeah. Where do you see yourself? I mean, you've been in the car business. You've seen it. We talked about COVID. We talked about the growth, the AI aspect of technology. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
10 years. It's hard to predict that far ahead. As I grow here and continue to adapt to my current role and learn that, I could see myself being a general manager in my next position.
But that's a logical thing because you've got both sides down. You've
Yes.
got the technician side, you've been in sales, you've sold independently. I'm really impressed with your previously owned inventory. Now, you don't just have BMW here, you've got a wide range. Can you talk to us about the
Yeah, I
used
mean,
car?
we sell a little bit of everything. Part of that's just servicing the community. Not everyone can afford that $80,000 or $90,000 car. So, we have $15,000, $18,000, $20,000, $25,000 cars. Like to keep a couple of electrics, a Tesla or two. Some pre-owned i4s. Some ex-courtesy vehicles that are still eligible for leasing and new car program that we can, get to a payment to for the customer that's looking to go down that road. But just open up your opportunity so much more when you have more than BMW. Obviously, that's what we're here for, is BMW, but we don't want to limit ourselves to just that kind of car.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Nissan, I saw Alfa Romeo out there. I saw a couple of Suburbans out
Suburbans, Tahoes, Jeeps. We've got a High Country Chevrolet pickup truck. Just a little bit of everything: sedans, SUVs, trucks, Jeeps.
Chris, I love Zach and I talked about it earlier. I love the process that you take to use cars through. Can you tell us a little bit about that process?
Yeah, so you mentioned Zach. He does pretty much all of our purchasing for us. I spend a decent amount of time looking around, but I've yet to buy a car since I've been here. I will take a picture, send it to Zach, and he'll handle it from there. Yeah, as soon as a car arrives, we have a photo company they vacuum the car, run it through the car wash just to get it presentable enough for photos, to get it out there, get that online presence as soon as possible. So we'd like to have it online within 24 hours of it arriving. Then it goes from there to the service side of it, and they do a full inspection on every single car. If it doesn't meet our standards, we'll send it back to the auction or wholesale it in some other fashion. But if it doesn't meet our standards, we don't sell the car. We do our recon process on everything, no matter what it is, and clean them up, get them ready for the front line, detail them repair the wheels, do the touch-ups, have every car front line ready, no matter what the cost of this.
That's amazing. That's amazing the way you're able to just stick to that. And when Robert and I talked about it, it's just striving for excellence, in all of the cars and all of the processes that you go through. Now, tell me about your relationship with service, sales.
So yeah, I mean, you have to have a great relationship with service. Reconditioning all these cars. Don't always see eye to eye on everything in every situation, but that's just part of the business between sales and service. But we rely on each other at the end of the day. We spend a good bit of money with them every month reconditioning the cars, and the more we sell, the more they recondition. So it's always in their best interest to fix the car and fix as many of the cars as they can, so we can buy more.
That's awesome.
Start the process all over again.
That is awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Chris. He's the sales manager here, the desk manager. When you see me to purchase the cars, I'll be working the deal with him. So, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. And Andre Goolsby checking out, being able to come out.
Well, first off, thanks for inviting me on, Andre. I certainly appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
You talked about this and about the different ways that you're trying to get yourself out there and coordinate with us as well, and helping your clients and customers along. And so I'm happy to help. Anything I can do.
I love that. Thank you. Now, how long have you been here?
So I took this store over in March of 2018. So about 6 years.
Wow. So you saw the effect of COVID.
Oh yeah. We saw the effects of COVID throughout the broader industry. The one thing that we made a commitment to here at BMW South Atlanta that you may not have seen at a lot of other dealers out there is just the commitment to our community. And that was, we're not charging additional fees. We're not charging addendums on the cars because of shortages. We're not, but we just weren't going to do that.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, that's a short-sighted thing. And, you really feel the ripple effects of that 6, 8, 12, 15, 18 months down the road. And we just wanted our customers to come and buy cars from us and continue to buy cars from us and enjoy that experience.
Love it. So you did something interesting in the service department, and I'd never heard of anything like that. You have a $200,000 van.
Yeah, so you're talking about our mobile service.
Yes, the mobile service.
So we've got mobile service set up within a 100-mile range of our dealership. Typically, the average service is about 25 miles in the area. But we can come to your house with the van. We can do all of the basic maintenance items, everything but heavy diagnostic we can do in your driveway, in your office, in a car park, wherever it needs to go. We've got the equipment to do it. We can change tires out. We can swap tires on the side of the road. It's a little bit more the roadside assistance from that perspective because we actually have a tire machine on the van. So rather than just putting assisting you with taking a tire off, putting a flat on, or putting a safety spare, or putting something else, or having the vehicle towed in, we can actually change the tire there on site. Along with oil changes and pretty much any other maintenance items we can do at your house or at your job.
That's huge.
Oh, I think so too. I mean, we have got a landlocked problem here at BMW South Atlanta. I mean, we're growing by leaps and bounds. We're selling quite a bit more cars than we ever have in the past, but we're just out of room. We don't have space, and when on an average day you've got 200 cars going through service, and you're selling 8 or 10 cars, and you've got 100 plus new cars in stock and 70 plus used cars, and there's just nowhere to park, and so parking is a constant problem here for us. And the one thing that we did with the mobile service van is it's almost like adding an additional service bay. We've got an additional service bay, and the customers, when they drive in, they don't have to deal with the traffic that's involved with exiting off of 85 or wherever they're coming from on Jonesboro Road, and they don't have to worry about coming and hanging out here with us. As nice as our facility is, I'm sure that sitting at home on the couch watching TV or doing some work or anything other than sitting and waiting for your car to get finished sounds like a much better scenario.
Yes, absolutely. And every time I'm here, I see the service department is just people coming in and out, and you guys do a great job at service.
Well, we definitely try. I mean, we want to do a great job for everyone that comes into our service department. It's unfortunate we can't please everyone. We try the absolute best that we can, but things do happen. Fortunately, we've got one of the highest Google scores in the area. Even with much larger dealers in different parts of town, we rank up there quite high, and that's because of the customer service that we provide. We don't always hit the mark. We don't. It's unfortunate, but it does happen. It does happen, but we try our best to overcome those obstacles, and we do everything we can to make it right for the customer in any instance.
A lot of that starts with you and your leadership. I remember you told me something that I would never forget, and you may have forgotten it, but I was talking about an event, and you said, Andre, just do the best you can.
Yeah.
Just do the best you can.
Well, at the end of the day, that's all we can do. We have got hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment. We've invested millions of dollars in training for our technicians and our client advisors, but at the end of the day, it's those individual people that really make the difference. And at the end of the day, if we've set them up for success and given them what they need to be successful, that's all we can ask of them. It's just do the absolute best that they can do. And if we can find ways to assist them and help them, then we will. We want to.
Now, the service is one thing, but this is the ultimate driving machine, BMW. You're driving right now, is that the 7 Series?
So I've been driving the i7 for 2 months, and it's a massive debate. I posted a review, my own personal review that I put up, and it came with mixed reviews because a lot of people out there are, they're just concerned about electrification, and I completely understand. There's so much out there between social media and talking about the positives and the negatives of electrification. All I can tell you is I've personally driven the car for 2 months. 20 years in this business, I've driven every car I could possibly think of. That is the finest car I've ever driven. I get roughly 300 miles to a charge. I am fortunate that we do have a fast charger here at the dealership, so that benefits me. I can charge it from 20 to 80% in about 20-25 minutes.
Wow.
It doesn't take very long, but that is a benefit for me. But for a lot of consumers out there, I always say, it's all about options. People are always saying, we're not adopting this technology, we're not adopting this. It's not about adoption. It's about giving you the options to drive what you want, to drive the vehicle that fits your needs, whatever those needs may be. If you're going out to tow a boat, well, our i7 is probably not the one for you. But if you live in a situation where electrification works and you have the opportunity to be able to take advantage of it, then try it. At least try it out. But what I would say is don't beat it. Don't bash on the tech. Don't believe everything you read until you find it out for yourself. Right? Sit behind the car, drive the car, enjoy the handling, the power, the speed, just the flexibility of that particular car. And you know what? If the i7 is not for you, if electrification doesn't work, we've got a gas version that will do the job.
So that's the sedan, in my opinion, the finest sedan made, that 7 Series.
Oh, it's beautiful. They did an amazing job with that car.
Yes. Now, tell us about the SUVs.
Well, right now we've got some great things coming down the line. We've got some amazing opportunities out there. Great specials available on our X3s, our X5s, our X7s, X1s, the all-new X2, which has been an extreme hit. We can't seem to keep those in stock, especially in a larger engine. But you've got a very large array of vehicles coming, and you have a lot of new vehicles coming too down the pipeline. BMW's new class will be out at the beginning of next year or middle of next year, depending on when that launches. So we're going to have a completely redesign of a few models, some new models coming out that we've never seen before. It's really amazing what they've been able to put together moving forward. And really, it's all about giving the consumer those options. Whichever version of the ultimate driving machine you want to drive, we have it available for you. Whether it's a high performance, high horsepower engine, whether it is or an electrified version of the vehicle that's going to give you that same performance and handling with the power to just plug in.
That's nice, very nice. Now, out of all the cars in the line, this is a question now. Which one is your favorite?
It's hard to say that I'm not in love with the current car I'm driving, the i7. But at the end of the day, if I were going to grab anything, it's probably going to be either the M5, which I think the M5 is probably the most balanced car that we have overall, or the X5M. The horsepower and the performance and the handling of the X5 with that invariant is it's just absolutely amazing. It's fun to drive. We talk about the different brands out there. You've got Lexus and Mercedes and BMW and Audi, and a lot of times what consumers will do is they'll take those brands and they'll just put them together and say, I'm going to go luxury shopping, right? But it's not the same. They're all different. We're a driver's car. We are a performance automobile with some luxury. You get into the 7 Series variant, and then you get a lot of luxury and still that amazing performance. But for the majority of our cars, it's a little bit of luxury and a lot of performance. We're a driver's car. If you want to go ride, if you want to sit back and just enjoy the ride, we may not be the car for you. We're a driver's car. We want people to enjoy the experience of the ultimate driving machine. There's a reason it's called that.
So many years ago, the short version, many years ago, I bought a 528i.
Okay.
And I could barely drive a 5-speed. Long story short, I thought I was purchasing a car and I didn't ask, was it a stick or was it automatic? And I learned how to drive that stick. To this day, I drive an automatic. My hands still ride. It's all that gear shift. It's just something about it.
I remember I bought my first car, and I had X number of dollars to go spend. And I went to the dealership and they showed me a car. And this was when I was in Texas, and it was a manual transmission. And I had to drive from Katy, Texas, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Houston area, but from Houston back to Huntsville, Texas, where I was going to college. And I remember saying, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to figure this stick out. And the guy said, well, you can make it or you won't. Fortunately, I made it.
And the rest is history.
That's it.
So, when did you know that you wanted to be in the car business?
Oh, man. I just kind of fell into it. I was going to school at Sam Houston State University, paying my way through school, and about my sophomore year, I ran out of money. At the end of the day, school was expensive, housing was expensive, and so I took the summer off to get a job. Started selling cars at a dealership in Texas. Had a pretty good summer financially doing that. Looked back at my career prospects and said, "Hey, let's just do this and see what happens." And 20 years later, here we are. So, no, when did I? Never. It was never even a thought in my mind. It's just something I fell into. I really love the customer aspect of it.
And you're good at it.
It
comes natural.
Well, it's because we care. At the end of the day, you can fake a lot of things, but we care, and we can't fix every problem.
Right.
We can't. I wish I could. I want to, but at the end of the day, we're a business. And we have to make business decisions. But at the end of the day, customer service is at the forefront of those decisions. And while we're not here to take responsibility for things that we don't. If it's something we didn't do, we won't. But if we made a mistake, if we did something wrong, if somehow in the process we dropped the ball, we'll take care of it and we'll own it. And that's the really just the message that I try to preach to all my staff is, guys, we have got to do gracefully in the beginning what we are going to begrudgingly do in the end.
I love that.
And that is the only way to look at it. We have to take care of these things quickly. We have to help our customers. We run through issues with just personnel. It's very tough to fill our service drive, for instance, with advisors, and it is the hardest job in the dealership. And a lot of it's because people love to buy cars. Everybody wants to go buy a car. It's a fun feeling. You get a new car. It's exciting.
Right.
What's not exciting is it breaking and you having to bring it into service. And those are emotional moments for a lot of people. They can be upset. They can get they bought it from a used car lot or something, and it's a car we've never even seen before, and they've spent $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on this car that we have no service history of, and the car's in here broken, and I feel horrible for those folks. We try to do absolute best we can to try to help them, but once again, there's limitations to it. We did not sell the car. We didn't work on the car. We've never seen the car. We don't know what's going to be wrong, but we'll do the best we can to try to help. I mean, there's a lot of times we'll have older cars come in and we'll tell customers, you know, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to repair this. You know, that's I make sure to preach that to these know. You know, at the end of the day, just like salespeople, what do we call them? Client advisors. Right? And in the service drive, they are service advisors. I say, guys, whether they want to take your advice or not, we have to give them honest feedback and advice. If they have a car that's worth $5,000, they've got a $10,000 service repair that needs to be done. Well, we need to let them know. Because, you know, this repair is more than what the value of the car is. So you may want to reconsider this. But at the end of the day, our job is to follow the customer's request, and if they want us to repair, we move forward.
I've seen you every time I come here interact with not just the service advisors, but the salespeople and your staff, and you do it so eloquently.
Well, at the end of the day, you know, we talked about when did I start here, March of 18.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I mean, I'm here 6 days a week. You know, I'm at 10, 12 hours a day, and we live here. You know, we've lived with these folks. I mean, this is my second home, and so we have got to treat our employees just like we want to treat our customers. You know, that we've got to, they've got to be a family. They've got to realize that they are important. Mm-hmm. And everyone here, from our finance team to our office accounting team to our lot staff, our porters, our valets, our technicians. I mean, everyone has a role to play.
Yes.
I mean, one of the most important positions we have is that receptionist up front. And you know, because it's all about first impressions.
First line of defense.
And so we've got to make sure that we treat our associates like family so that they can turn around and know that feeling so they can give that to the customers.
Thank you for just setting an example, even if it's to other dealerships, of just striving for excellence.
We definitely try, and at the end of the day, we know that we're not perfect. We never will be, but we will, like we said before, we will do the absolute best we can to ensure a great experience, whether it is in the sales or the service drive.
Lastly, where do you see yourself, the dealership, the brand? Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
You know, I try not to predict the future, Andre. The future is so unpredictable. I mean, we just went through an event that no one would have predicted with COVID.
Right.
And we have no idea how the market's going to respond, how our industry is going to respond. I mean, look at technology, you know, with AI. I don't think that it's ever going to replace the human element when it comes to big, large purchases like this. I mean, we talk about digital retailing, right? Well, for the last 3 or 4 years, that's been a hot button topic, digital retailing. Well, we need to sell more online. And I get it, I understand it, but the problem is that customers, they don't want to do that. At least not here in my area, which is the only area that I have to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they talk, they'll do these large national polls and they'll say that, you know, we polled 10,000 people and 70% of those people said that they want to sit at home and they want to shop online and they want to have a car delivered to them. Well, you know, at the end of the day, I can go pick apart any subsect of the country. I can survey 1,000 people out of that subsect of the country and I can get the answer I want. But when I am here dealing with customers on a day-to-day basis, they want to come in and touch the car. They want someone to let them know about the car and tell them about it. Even if they know more than we do, which sometimes based on internet research, they do.
Right.
And, you know, they'll come in and they've got a lot of very intelligent, consumer-oriented questions that we have to be able to answer. We've got to be able to take care of that for them. They want to drive the car.
Yes.
I mean, you know, we're not talking about, I'm not sitting at home placing a Walmart Plus order, ordering bread and milk and staples for my groceries. You know, I'm buying a $50,000 to $80,000, $150,000 automobile.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to want to drive it.
Exactly. I love another thing, and I don't know if it's just BMW of South Atlanta, but I love the genius factor.
Yeah.
Tell me about the genius.
So BMW started this program back, I believe it was 2015, started BMW Genius. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to incorporate a product specialist into the mix rather than just have client advisors. Because these guys are here to sell cars, the client advisors. That is their motivation. That's how they make money. That's how they feed their families, how they support themselves and those around them. It's by selling cars. Our product specialists, their job is not to sell a car. Their job is to inform the consumer Our Genius, they're here to know the ins and outs of these cars. They're here to get you set up when you make your purchase, or if you have a question about your car, just to stop by and say hi. They're happy to help.
Just dedicated people who are product specialists who know everything about the BMW product.
And they have no incentive to sell a car. They're just here to help you out. They just want to answer your questions.
When I heard that, I thought that was amazing, because part of the repeat and referral business in the car business is the ease and comfort that a client feels when they're driving, but when they take delivery, do they know everything that their car does?
Well, and what we try to do is we don't want to put all that information on the customer when they take delivery. BMW includes kind of a quick reference guide that goes with it, and that's kind of our basic first step delivery that we do, unless there's not a chance to see the customer again. If it's out of town, something like that, we'll spend, I've had Genius to spend 2 hours with customers going over their vehicles. But typically that process is about 25 to 40 minutes, and we go over the basics, get their Bluetooth set up, answer any questions that they have about the car, go over the quick reference guide, all the basic things you need to know and how to understand and operate the vehicle, the radio, AC, all the different components of the vehicle. And then what we like to do is we'll give the customer a week or week and a half, drive the car, learn the car, write down any questions you may have about the car, anything you can think of. And then what happens is our Genius will reach out to the customer and they'll schedule what's called an encore delivery. And that is for the customer either come here, or in some occasions the Geniuses will go to them. And they'll just go over those questions with the customer. Let's just go a little bit more in depth here with the different aspects of the car, the features that are important to you, and how we can better integrate that into your lifestyle.
And I know you may not want to see that, but if more dealerships would do that, if they have better scores.
Yeah, no, it matters. It matters.
Customer service, and that's where it begins, and I believe that's where it ends. I want to thank you for taking the time. Thank you for allowing us to come out here.
Certainly appreciate it.
To do this. And ladies and gentlemen, Robert Fowler, General Manager here at BMW of South Atlanta, the ultimate driving machine. See me, and I'll make sure you get the car that you will be back at you once again here at BMW of South Atlanta. I have Sam Brutus here with me, and I've been doing business here for about almost a year, and I've seen you, Sam, and I've seen you in so many different roles here. I've seen you in finance, I've seen you at the desk, I've seen you in sales, I've seen you back in the service department. So tell me, your role here now. Does your title change?
No, the title stays as finance manager, but it's kind of like a jack of all trades,
Right.
It's the mindset is anything it takes to make a car deal. Whether if I have to go show a car, I'll do that. If I have to give numbers out, I'll do that. But the main thing is always working with the banks, trying to get the approval. And since I have that background with the banks, I can kind of tend to see where it needs to go, whether they need cash down, maybe a cosigner, different things like that. So it's kind of how it works.
Tell me about your experience because that's a whole different set. I've seen finance managers who can't work the desk. I've seen desk managers who cannot do finance. So it's not like one naturally feeds into the other one. Tell me about your background that makes you so proficient at both.
I've been doing this about maybe 18 years. I started as a salesperson. And I think I'll probably say that my first general manager always said that, what are you doing to sell a car? It doesn't matter about your title. And so just try to get involved. Early intervention. I sold cars. I like to do that. I'll still go out there and build that excitement. That's really what it is, just excitement. When a customer sees you that everyone's involved, I'm not a new face. I'm always here. You saw me here. You saw me doing that. There's a comfort level there with that. So I've learned that throughout the 15 years being a people person. That's usually what helps you feel comfortable to buy a vehicle.
And it does, and you do it well. I've seen you work with not just the salespeople, but with the clients. I've seen you do that.
Yeah, I was originally, I did finance. I've been a sales manager, been a general manager, so you kind of don't lose those things. So it's pretty much just plug and play. Wherever you need me, that's where I'll be. Whatever it takes to make a sale.
So where did it all begin?
Orlando. Yeah, I've been in Orlando probably for 30 years. I've only been up here 3 years. That's been the mentality though, always stuck with me like that.
I didn't realize that. You've only been here for 3 years?
3 years.
Wow. So how do you like the difference between Orlando, Atlanta?
It's the same. I mean, it's really, there's more of us, I guess, I can say that.
Sure.
Yeah, there's more of us doing this here
Sure.
in Atlanta than Orlando.
Wow.
you always have to stick out more in Orlando, so you have to set yourself apart. So that's probably why I do a lot of that, to stick myself apart from everyone else. Keep your job security.
So when you started in the car business, what did you do before this? Or was there before?
Air conditioning.
Tell me about that.
Air conditioning construction, that's where you learn to work. You gotta work.
Yes,
So
that's where you get your work
I'm not
ethic
afraid to
from.
work.
No, you're not.
I started sweeping floors as a helper. And then when I did that, I said to myself, I won't be doing this all my life. I'm gonna be a foreman. So I got to run job sites, doing the blueprints. I've even done like dropping units on hospitals with a helicopter. So it's just the work. That's what the work is. And then my background, my family's Haitian, so I speak French Creole. That's another thing of working. We always work.
That's true.
Nothing been given to us.
That is very true. So, what do you see down the road for Sam Bruce? Down the road, give me a 5-10 year plan.
That mountain store. That's been the ultimate goal.
You've done everything in the store.
That's the last thing. That's why I like to know every part of it.
And you involve yourself in every part of it. I remember the deals I've worked here, you were right there, just facilitating, like you said, the car deal.
And it's good that way, because if you go to someone else, they won't know where you were at. So if you stick with me, nothing will change.
And you have a peripheral as not just looking at it as credit score, money down, finance, dealing with the banks, but you also can desk and know about monthly payments and how to present numbers and things like that.
And that's the main thing. There's always been a 2-word thing. You look for stability and ability when you're doing a car purchase. So you may have the best credit, but if you have stability and ability, you can put something together. And that way I'll go out and speak to the customer too, so that way they know it's not somebody just sitting back there behind a desk.
Right.
It's the comfort.
But you had some humble beginnings.
Of course, yeah.
Humble
Of course, yeah. Always. I mean, I've had positions, you kind of take it away from you and then you get humble real quick and kind of know, okay, listen, I'm not better than this person, that. You just always have to work. And you work.
Sam, you talked about owning your own store, and you talked about the difference between Orlando and Atlanta. What does that mean? What does that mean when you talk about owning your own store? Not just for you, but you, your family, legacy. Let's talk about that.
I've always said I wanted to leave my children something, to leave something behind for them. That I have one daughter that's autistic, and that's always been my worry. So if I always have something there for her, whatever she's gonna need. I've got 6 kids total, but they're all gonna have their own. But at least that one, they can always take care of that one. And then my brother, he's a dentist up north, and he's got his own clinic. So that's something we always kind of one up the other. So we kind of, make each other better. So that's always been the mindset.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yep.
I love that. I admire that so much. We talk about generational wealth, and that can look like so many things. And you talked about us. You talked about that. I believe that money should have a trickle effect. If you didn't come from money, well, then the thing is, you need to be able to create money.
Yes.
To be able to live. And
Yes.
I love the way that you're talking about, the kids, because sometimes, we think me. I had to get it for myself. Y'all got to get it for yourself.
It's all about family.
So, anyway, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
All right, Andre Goolsby, and I'll talk to you soon.
From managing restaurants. So we would not think that they have something in common, but something that's very important is customer service. And I take that with pride in this business, and I feel like it's very important.
That's where you get that from. I never knew that. Because every time I come over here, you're always serving me. You say, hey, can I help you? Can you, what can I do? So that's where you get that. That's where I get that beautiful spirit. And you were here before, and you left, and you came back, right?
Yes. Yep, that is true.
How was that transition?
So it's not bad at all. I mean, in anything in life, it's best to leave with good faith and with good reason. And if the door is there for you when you need to come back, it will be. And that's kind of what happened in this case. I moved here. This was my first job when I moved here. And I wanted to branch out and get into franchisee with restaurants. And I did. I took the leap. And I realized that it wasn't for me. So being in the car dealership is for me. I did try another dealership, but the family here, they heard that I was back in the dealership, and the door was open for me to come back. So here I am.
It's a great culture here.
Yes, it's a great culture. Yep. Yes.
So you know this BMW product line really well.
Yes, I do. Like back of my hand.
What's your favorite vehicle in the line?
Right now, my favorite vehicle would probably have to be, as much as I want to say it's the 8 Series, it's really the M4.
Really?
Just
Why?
recently, my manager, he built an M4 to be brought here to be sold. And most people, they build an M4 with the black wheels and all the whatnots. But I seen him do it with like the comfort package. So you got the sportier car with the comfort package with the silver wheels. And it just stood out to me. It was really nice. So I like the little smaller car too.
Okay. So it wasn't necessarily the driving, it was the combination.
It was the combination, and it's the uniqueness of it. I feel like that's quite important too.
Right. So the used car inventory that you have here.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
A used car. Okay, so in total, in used cars, we can get about 600 cars in total. They all don't sit on the premises, but we do have north of 60 on the premises, used cars. And of course, we go through a PDI, delivery inspection, everything that you would need to make sure that a used car is ready to be sold. Of course, my managers, they take pride in that because we don't want to sell a used car and then have to take that car back.
Sure.
Of course. So just like anybody would, we try to make it as new as possible.
So you mentioned 600 cars. So you've got access to
other stores within our family group of Sons.
Right.
So within Sons Auto Group, we have other stores. And
how many stores are in Sons?
I want to say it's 8 stores total.
Okay.
And they're spread out between Georgia and Alabama. So
if somebody's looking for a particular vehicle, you can go online
in our used car section. So we have a certified used car section. So we have new BMWs, and then you have your certified BMWs, and then you have your used car inventory. Within your used car inventory, you can search all the stores and look at all the used cars.
Okay.
So if there's something that catches your mind, it's not that hard for us to talk about it and then look at the car facts, the history of the car. And if it's something that you want to move on, I might even take you to Alabama myself.
You do that.
Yes, I
You do that.
I
You
do.
and I were talking just last week about you took a client to another dealership
Sons Kia. Yep.
to Sons Kia, and you took an Uber back or
Took an
something.
Uber. Yep. Well, actually, so what happened was the customer was here, and I told them they can get in their car and I can get in my car, and we can drive down there. And if you like the car, we can decide what we're going to do from there. And they liked the car. So we did everything we could do there, but the thing is they had to sign the paperwork here. So I ended up leaving my car there. And I lived the opposite way, but anyways, I had to make the deal happen. So I drove the car that they wanted back to the store while they drove their car here, and we made the deal happen. Later on in the day, when I got off, I took an Uber out 30 minutes that way, and I drove an hour back that way to get home. So, but hey, everybody went home happy.
So, Jonathan, you said you were here before, you went to another dealership.
Mhm.
So what is it about this dealership? What is it about this dealership that brings you?
It really feels like home, like you come, like, I hate to wake up in the morning and think to myself, like, geez, do I want to go to work today? But when I was here the first time, I never had that feeling. And that's why when I did leave the first time, I felt like I had to tell them my reason. Going somewhere else, the environment that you have is super important. And I worked at other dealerships prior to here, used car dealerships. This was the first new car dealership that I worked at. And from day one, it was just family. It just feels like family. And that's super important. They treat the customers like family. We treat the customers like family. Our service department is pretty solid.
Mhm.
We have a very busy service department. They take care of everybody. And then just experiencing something else that wasn't the same just wasn't for me. Right?
That makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, a commitment to excellence from Jonathan Francois,
Yes.
my floor partner here at BMW of South Atlanta. And if you're looking for a particular vehicle, you can always call me. But if I'm not available, you can call here or come here and ask for Jonathan Francois, and he'll take care of you just like I would. Andre Goolsby signing out, BMW of South Atlanta.
Have a good one.
It's so hard, they're at the top of their game. We're about to make sure you know our names. Adonis Finest, the podcast, oh so fly. We stay on our grind, aiming high like diamonds. We shine, inspiring the master, motivation and elevation. Breaking down all classes, teaching legion. We can show you never fall with a helping hand. We rise from the bottom to the top. clear. You've got the